Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a bevy of princesses. Cinderella had a flimsy shoe, Snow White had dwarfs that cleaned for her, and Sleeping Beauty had a spindle in a tower. Their friend Angelica, however, was without a crown, and couldn't help but feel left out whenever the girls would go on their bi-weekly wander through the meadow.
Oh, what a beautiful flower this is! Wow, I love living in a castle,
said Cinderella.
I kind of like living in the little cottage behind your castle,
replied Angelica.
I love talking to these bunnies. They reproduce quickly, so there are a lot of them. That reminds me of my jewels, as there are many of them too,
said Snow White.
I sometimes enjoy looking at your jewels, when that's allowed,
replied Angelica.
This is a lovely day. It reminds me of my lovely prince. I hate peasants,
said Sleeping Beauty.
I think the weather is nice, and I once had a boyfriend when I went to the village school. He was nice. He would sometimes share his lunchtime pheasant with me when he wasn't too hungry,
replied Angelica. The princesses chimed together in stereo.
Darling, you're so sweet. You deserve everything we have and more. Oh well, see you in 2 weeks.
Though Angelica loved her princess friends, their jaunts always left her feeling downtrodden and alone. She would return to her cottage, which was nothing compared to Cinderella's castle, look around for a dwarf's company, only to remember that Snow White held the monopoly
why can't
on
I
those,
be like all the
and
other
sit down
girls?
to do some needlework.
Where are my glass
that
shoes?
was neither on a
Where is
spindle
my troop
nor
of
in
small
a tower
men?
like Sleeping
Why can I have
Beauty's.
inherited something flashier than a magical footstool? Will I always be a lonely lady in waiting?
Angelica cried. When she started to cry, she was unable to stop for 3 whole days and nights until her tears flowed like a small stream. The stream met a brook, which met a river, which carried Angelica's tears all the way to the sea, where a beautiful mermaid was resting. The mermaid sensed Angelica's sorrowful desire, and was so moved that she decided to help plain old Angelica become Princess Angelica. The mermaid swam up from the ocean, back to the river, through the brook, into the stream of Angelica's tears, to her bedside, where it all began. One might ask how she swam against the current, or how a full-grown mermaid fit into a tiny stream. But one should not do that. Mermaids answer to no one.
Hello, Angelica. I am Amy, Mermaid Princess of the Sea. I have heard your story of woe, and I think I can help you,
said the mermaid.
Why are you here?
Asked a startled Angelica. After all, it is rare for mermaids to show up in your bed out of nowhere.
Now, Angelica, you need to do everything I say. Are you ready to become a princess?
Angelica was so overwhelmed that her tears stopped and she could hardly speak. Of course she would follow Amy's instruction.
Alright, here's what you need to do. First of all, do you got a tank or something? I need to be in water. It's how mermaids work. Second, go find and help the man with the yellow cape.
Angelica stuffed Amy in her bathtub and set out to find the man with a yellow cape. A million questions raced through her head. Who is this man? Where will I find him? Why does he have a yellow cape? And furthermore, where does one even purchase that? Angelica packed her dazzling camouflage gowns, Robin Hood crossbow, and magical footstool. She walked and walked throughout the land for weeks upon weeks, eating wild game roasted over a fire and sleeping in caves. A natural spelunker, Angelica illuminated caverns with her wide, bright eyes and fought off moles with her polished manicure. She propelled herself across ravines while singing a happy tune and imagining her encounter with the yellow-caped phantom. It had been 7 weeks, 4 days, 6 hours, and 13 minutes since she set out on her journey, when she came to a clearing in the forest. Illuminated in the center of the field, she saw a man in a yellow cape standing stoically in the mud, leaning on a cart full of cabbages.
Excuse me, sir. Can I help you?
Angelica meekly inquired. The yellow-caped man came to life.
Oh, hello. Please, can you help me out of this muck? I've been stuck here for days. I was on my way back from the farmer's market with these cabbages, which blocked my view of the mud. I walked so far out that when I realized what I was in, there was no way out.
Angelica rummaged through her second-hand portmanteau for a rope or a grapple hook that could rescue the mystery man. He was too far out to reach with her arms alone, and when she realized that her rope was left at the last canyon she swung across, and remembered a troll stole her bedazzled grapple hook, Angelica was left with only her magical footstool in hand. At the moment that all seemed lost, the footstool sprang to life and plopped itself in the exact midpoint of the mud between land and the caped fellow. Angelica leaped through the air onto her footstool, whose magical properties kept her from sinking further into the mud. With a flick of the wrist, the yellow-caped man was free, and Angelica was back on solid ground.
Oh, thank you. I'm forever in your debt. My name is Franklin. Can I do anything for you?
Oh, well, I don't know. Could you tell me, where did you get that yellow cape?
I made it, with a spindle in a tower, which has a sunroof and a swimming pool.
Oh, well, why is it yellow?
Yellow just looks good with my array of diamonds and jewels. I'm a collector.
Oh, well, where do you keep all of that?
In my castle. I just built it 2 weeks ago. It's the most current and largest and best-looking castle in all the land.
I don't mean to prod, but why would a man of such wealth and glamour come out to a farmer's market for cabbages?
On Saturdays, I enjoy meeting with the peasants in my land. They're so much more interesting than your typical princess.
Okay, wait, who are you?
Franklin, Prince Franklin de Roquefort. Haven't you seen my posters? In any case, you are a pleasant-looking pleasant. Would you like to get married and be my princess?
Yes, please!
And so, as time passed by, Prince Franklin and Princess Angelica became King and Queen de Roquefort. They lived in the largest palace, wore shoes made of diamonds and gold, decorated their thrones with 90% of the available jewels in existence, and had regular-sized people, rather than dwarves, sew things on giant spindles in giant towers. And what of Angelica's friends? Mermaid Princess of the Sea, Amy, swam down the drain of Angelica's tub after 47 days of bath-time solitude. Cinderella's prince ran off with Rapunzel after she broke her foot. Sleeping Beauty fell asleep again and was laid to rest when everyone agreed the world was a much better place when she wasn't speaking. And Snow White came across sunless tanning and thus lost her charm. Everything was sorted out, life was good for those who deserved it, ethical dilemmas did not exist, and Angelica lived happily ever after.